we can't just talk about one game here. Let's talk about the upcoming game. Gorillas versus Witches, another 4-0 team up against an 0-4 team. Another team looking to give a team their a first loss and to win their first game. What are your predictions here?
I'm going to have to go with 3-2 Gorillas.
A 3-2 for Gorillas. All right. And
Yes.
Explain to me why.
Okay, so yesterday with my team, Koalas, we just played the Gorillas in a scrim. It was sort of iffy, like it was back and forth. It was 3-2. We won 3-2, but it was super close. All 5 games were super close. And same thing when we played the Witches. I think it was either week 1 or preseason. I don't remember which one it was. It was a 3-2 game. We won. And I think that the Witches, even though they may seem like the worst team on paper, they have the rotations and the skill to win games.
Now, on the other side, you have Gorillas, right? Now, is Bard playing? I don't think he is because he's casting for the grid. So Bard is not going to be playing. So it's going to be Prish, DJ Josue, and Literally.
Yep. Okay, so DJ has 1.31 goals per game, which is really impressive. Or it might be points per game. I don't remember. I wrote down 1.31. So, but that's still really impressive. Oh yeah, 2.12 points per game. Yep. So that's really high stats. That means that you are consistently able to pass and shoot. And I think that's huge to have. All 4 members have over 38% shooting percentage. And it's just impressive to me that all 4 of your members, even your sub, or what I think, or who I assume is their sub, have over a 38. That's mind-boggling to me. Also, yeah, Magic Mike in chat just said Prish used to be on the Witches, which is true.
Yeah, true. So the Witches have lost Prish to this Gorillas team. I do want to say, though, I want to go away from these two teams really quickly. What's been the downfall here for some of these teams, right? At the beginning of the season, we said, oh, well, look at these teams who we think will be going far, right? We didn't expect the Pilots to be 4-0 starting off the season. And we definitely did not expect the Warthogs to be 0-4.
Yeah, okay, so the Warthogs, Arco said, I think we've been struggling on an individual level. So I think that it's still, I haven't personally been able to watch replays of their games or anything like that, and I don't think they've been on stream, or if they have, I haven't been able to watch it. But yeah, it just seems like they've been struggling individually, not working as a team, not hitting the mechanical stuff they did last season, and that's just something that they need to get down.
Yeah, and they absolutely need to get that momentum back, right? They absolutely just, because it's starting to become a part of the season where, well, you need to win 10 games about in a season, right, to go into the playoffs, right? 11 games to secure your spot, right? So there's 18 games, right? That means they can only manage to lose the next only 3 games, right? To take it to the playoffs, they only can afford to lose 3 games here.
Right.
And especially in their division, right? It's not like their divisional rivals are slouches, right? Because they have the Stingrays and Gorillas, 2 teams that have started off really, really well, and they also have the Hounds, another team that's been struggling, who we didn't expect to struggle.
I mean, you can chalk up the Hounds to they traded for a player. That player then ranked up to Mav, so they only had 2 players on the roster, so they had to forfeit some games.
Mm-hmm.
So it just sort of, it's rough. It just seems like a lot of these teams who have potential, or that we didn't expect to be so well, playing so well. It's just like you look at the Harriers, right? Maybe 2-2 I expected them to be. Gorillas, before Prish, I said maybe 3-1. Like, I did not expect them to be 4-0.
Yeah, but now with Prish especially, right? 4-0 is well deserved.
Yeah.
For sure.
Coyotes, they just lost. I think they lost either their last one or the one before that. Like, I expected them to be 4-0 after that preseason.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, look at their division, right?
Yeah.
Puffins are 4-0. Harriers are 4-0. They're 3-1, and the Witches are 0-4, right? And so this is going to be really tough for this Witches team, right? Even if they win tonight, right? Let's say they go 1-4. They need to win up against the Puffins, the Harriers, and the Coyotes, right?
2
Three
times.
teams,
Yeah.
three top teams, right? That they
Yeah.
need to play against.
Yeah, like that's such a tough division, and it's unfortunate that they got put in there, but like that's honestly, I think that's going to be the division that wins the playoffs. Like if you can't compete in that division, I don't think you deserve to be in playoffs or even win playoffs, because that's really rough.
It's going to be rough, and it's going to be rough for the Titanium division as well, right? Because if three teams make it from the Cobalt division, right, that means only one team from the Titanium division will make it in, and vice versa in the Iron and Steel division. And looking at the Steel division specifically, right, that division is wide open, completely wide open. All 4 teams are struggling.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was talking about this with some people the other day. There are 4 4-0 teams, and there are 4 0-4 teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's 4 2-2 teams, and then the other 4 are split between 1-3 and 3-1. So it's just like, it seems like it's super spread out. It's super. There's the really good teams and then the really poor teams as of right now, and I think that's just shows the caliber of some of these teams that were made, that they were able to fit such amazing talent in cap space.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, the cap space. Don't forget, we have salary caps here, right? For your MMR, and despite that, there's so much skill here.
100%. I think this is one of the closer leagues in the independent.
Now, I do want to point out that the Gorillas, I do believe, after 4 games, are the team with the highest shooting percentage in all of the Indie League.
Are they really? Okay.
Out of all 64 teams, I do believe at 45.95% that their shooting percentage is the best in the Indie League. Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
I did not know that. I don't know how I can check that really quick, but
in the stats, so you in the spreadsheets, obviously anyone could do this. If you want to follow along at the desk, you can obviously just go onto the spreadsheets and just look for yourself, right? Just look at the stats of the teams, the rosters of the teams, who's up next. So if you're any interested in that, just go into the Discord and look at spreadsheets and go into there, because that's going to give you a lot of information that we have, right? That's how we get a lot of our information. But
most
obviously,
of my information is just from asking around and looking at the spreadsheets. Like, yeah. Well, but if we also look at the Witches, right? Like, they have some players with some good stats. Like AST, he has almost a goal a game, right? 33% shooting percentage. Flay, he's at 1.28 points per game, which is, for those of you that don't know, which is goals plus assists. And then 20% shooting percentage. And it's like, but then you just flip it over, and of course everyone can have an amazing day, and that can just flip everything around. So maybe they've just not been performing well at an individual level. And maybe AST will just come online at some point in this series, right? So you can't just count a team out because their stats are bad. That is how you lose series. You just have to make sure that you are always paying attention to where everyone is, and you're playing at your best. Do not slack.
Yeah. And anything else do you want to say about this matchup before we go down to it? Because both teams now have finally joined in. We were waiting for the Witches to join in. They finally have. So all 6 players here are ready to go. Anything else you want to say before we go back to casting?
I'm going to wish both teams good luck in this game. I think both of you have the opportunity to win this game. And both teams have very high skill ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
And just want to wish them the best of luck.
By the way, I was wrong. Bard is playing. So
he is playing. Okay.
He is playing. I thought he was casting for the grid, which is why he wasn't doing desk tonight. But apparently he's playing. So,
yeah.
Good luck.
So good luck casting, and I will talk to you next week.
Hey, thank you, man. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the series. Enjoy the rest of the stream. As everyone else will, I'm here with Moss as we go down to game number 1. How are you, Moss?
Good. Emergency sub or emergency caster never felt so good. I'm excited for this one here tonight.
Wasn't this your job? Weren't you actually
No,
supposed to be here?
no.
No, wait. No, it was Ed Boy. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
I'm good. But
Yeah, thank you for coming down here and helping me. Did you come in with Sunday on with me as well?
I did, yeah. I
as well.
forget which games it was for, but you know.
It was for the last 2 games as well. So
yeah.
This time though, we got ourselves our second series of tonight. Between the Riches and Gorillas, I hope you were listening into the desk a bit there, because the Gorillas are 4-0. They have some of the best shooting percentage we've seen in any league in any season, and up against the Witches, who are 0-4. The Gorillas did steal Frisch from this Witches team, and oh my god, I'm just gonna say scores the goal here, because I can't say that name without saying something else.
Well, that was just a good bouncer. I mean, those always catch defenders off guard, especially maybe around the skill level as well. You know, those bouncers can be really difficult to read as far as how high they're going to go. That was just well placed, and we got a 1-0 game already for the Witches, which was a bit of a surprise here.
Yeah, obviously, Gorillas are the favorite here. What are your predictions in chat? And Moss, what is your prediction?
Well, based on what you guys have been saying, you know, I've had a chance to look over the spreadsheet as well just a little bit. With a shooting percentage of almost 46%, nearly 50%, I mean, is any team really going to be able to stop the Gorillas? That's the main question I have. I know they've taken a couple already, they've just been soft shots, but once they actually start honing in those shots and really getting them to where they've been all season long, I don't see a way that they lose this one unless the Witches really get momentum here. And it started out really good for them, don't get me wrong.
Oh my goodness. How could I not read that? It's T. Oh my goodness. I was trying to read that. I just could not. My eyes would not allow me. Docile Hydra saying it's going to be a 3-1 Gorillas here. So maybe the same situation as last series. I don't know if you watched. Joe Sway here with a good goal. That goes into the top corner. Wildebeest, also a 4-0 team, up against Sorcerers, who again an 0-4 team. Sorcerers won game 1, and then the Wildebeest just took on the rest of the series and won 3 straight games. And I think that's what someone in chat, the Docile Hydra, said would happen pretty much. Do you think that could happen?
Absolutely, yep, and that sounds just about right as far as, you know, I don't know too much about, you know, the Renegade divisions and all that stuff, but based on what I've looked over, that seems very good, like, really good prediction there, so, yeah, we'll just have to see how it all plays out. Obviously going to be interesting, but we still got a long season to go.
Yeah, so Joe Sway, ooh, wow, that's a bad clear there, and Doc, his shot just is wide, and they triple committed in the net here. That's going to work out in their favor. That's going to be saved by A. Up in the air he goes. Oh wait, his name is T, right? Yeah, his name is T. My bad. Ooh, wow, that's a dunk by Doc, and he's going to get it over all 3 players here. T putting it towards the front of the net. Joe Sway here gets dunked, and Prish and Bar just get caught off guard.
Yeah, that's a really good read from Doc that time. He put it in the one spot in the net as well, where none of the 2 defenders that were back could get to. And that's a high-level play you usually see. Closer, oh my goodness, almost a great shot there. But yeah, that was a heck of a shot. Excuse my words there.
It's a 7-4 shot lead right now for the Witches. They're coming down here with the offense. It's raining balls over there on the Gorillas net, but they're standing up strong, only letting in 2 so far, and that's really good to see. If you're the Gorillas, first trying to be fancy with that double tap there, it's not going to work out in his favor. Josue gets demoed in his own zone, but he's able to get the ball cleared out. 1v1 here between Bard and Doc. He's going to get it past Doc. The ball falls towards the middle of the zone. Doc's able to get that ball out. Very well played. Bard, he's going to find the redirect, and Josue finds that rebound. That's a good save by T, but yeah, there's nothing you can do when it's a 2-on-1 situation like that, and you're forced to make a bad save.
Yep, you have to keep that ball in the net for the time being and hope that one of your teammates can get back and get that second 50, but right there just didn't have the help he needed. And after Bard's shot, Prish, I believe, was the one who cleaned it up. Or, sorry, was it Joe? Was it Joe on that one? I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, but they cleaned it up, and 2-2 game. It's all tied up.
Yeah, it was Joe that swept everything up, as he's the only one on the Gorillas who scored. That's how you can tell. Interesting little stats like that that are able to make you see who scored what goal.
Absolutely, yep.
Schooling the people who don't know how to cast. It's great. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you, boss. Don't worry about it. I mess with everyone equally.
Yeah, I just haven't had the time, to cast with you and get used to that. So I never really know if you're being serious or not. So I'm just trying to.
Serious. Oh, except for that, that's a very serious goal there by Krish, who finds that ball in the air, and Krish has finally landed in the series here. Flay with a bad clear there. You don't want to put it in the middle of the zone there. Both players just absolutely missed that. You don't want to put that ball in that position.
Well, now I can say Prish's name because he's the one who scored that goal and gave the Gorillas a lead here late in this one.
I know you like Prish and you like saying his name, but no, he was not the one who scored the second goal.
No, he was not, but he scored the third, all right? Maybe it was just something I was predicting or something in the back of my head. So...
you were predicting that one. You could see the future. No wonder you say that the Witches are winning one game, right? You're one of them. You can tell the future.
Yeah, if I lived hundreds of years back, I would be in trouble for that. But right now we're good.
Yes, Wizard. Flay now pass it over to himself. That's a great save. That's gonna stop the offense there. There's only one last opportunity, wouldn't you say, here with 4 seconds on the clock. That ball's not gonna touch the ground before 0 seconds. There you go, and the Gorillas take game number 1 here, and that brings us here to a minimum of 10 minutes left here in this series. Do you think the Witches can bring it back here? Because their onslaught of offense was really strong, but they seem to be having some issues, mostly with lag.
Yeah, and that's always something that you deal with, especially with online games. It's just something you got to deal with. And I think for the Witches, if you've got two good guys, you leave that last one on third. If you do have those lag issues, and you can take care of it, but if they can keep it clean in that regard and still put on the shots that they did this game, they can definitely pull this series off. But right now, the Gorillas 3 for 7 on shots, still hovering right around that 40% mark. So that is a really good stat for them. And yeah, I expect them to pull away with the series. But if the Witches play like that again, they'll steal a game.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a little shout out here. Thank you, Moss, for coming in here to help me out, because once again, you're a hero, man. Stopping me from doing these alone. It was a lot more helpful when we were doing Supersonic Legends gameplay, right? This time it's just low champ gameplay, so it's not as bad, right? The games aren't as fast, right? So there's less there's more talking to be done, less casting, really. I do want to thank Duffy here for streaming us. Thank you so much. I want to thank Bard for putting everything together, even though it was last minute. Thank you so much for doing that, Bard. I want to thank myself for casting, obviously. The other person who was supposed to be here, who shall not be named, no-showed, and I had to solo this, so pat myself on the back there. And Maple for being in chat and staying with us the entirety of the time, because I think only him and Hydra have been here the entire time and not left. That's cool. Thank you, guys. Still 39 people in the Twitch chat, though. Who are you supporting in this series? Who do you want to win this series? Do you want the Witches or do you want the Gorillas? Who's got your number here? Who's got your vote? It's T's trying to get your sway to one side, and it's his side and not Joe Sway's side.
And that's just an unfortunate play in the defensive position from Prish. He backflips. And I gotta say, though, if the Witches can keep doing this early in games, they're going to get out to leads, and in some instances, the team will not be able to come back from that. But they got to keep Gorillas at bay and keep on the onslaught. They missed an open net, though.
Flay, that's a great opportunity. Just puts it way too high, and that's going to be a miss. Hydra says he thinks Gorillas take this. Dork thinks Gorillas take this. Joe Sway tries to say that Gorillas take this, but he's denied. Soy saying that it's going to be a tie. Zabe saying that he's a big Frisch fan, so I'm guessing he likes the Gorillas' chances here. Even though maybe a few weeks ago he would have said Witches.
Well, you know what? Maybe so, but hey, people change their minds all the time, right?
Yeah,
It's all about wanting, to be with a team that wins, and our man Bard puts a clear into the net.
Old man Bard, he gets it over Flay, who overextended there. Last man back should not overextend like that. Not that high anyway. Flay makes another mistake there, and that's going to cost his team another goal, but this time not in the opponent's net. This time in his own.
Yep, and that's just these players are still learning though. Let's be cautious about that too, because there's a lot of time that I say we as in like the higher up leagues have spent playing this game, and it takes a long time to get good at this game, where these guys are they're at that medium point where they're starting to break through a little bit, which is why you see some really good plays and some really bad plays. So yeah, they're still learning, and they just have to clean up those mistakes, and then they're going to be better than ever.
Yeah, but I do like how you say we, despite me having actually never taken part in any single game in this league, despite being in it for 3 seasons now, as Joe Sway puts that ball in. It's a great goal.
Yep, that's just... Didn't even need to do much here. You just tap it over the head of the one defender, and Flay can't get back in time. And here we are again, halfway through the goal with the Gorillas surging on offense. They are 2 for 4, so still right at 50%, which is just, you don't see that much.
Absurd. Yeah, we 40% is that of like the best of the best teams, right? Normally, teams that can sustain 40% all throughout the season are considered like the favorites to win the season, right? Think of the Ducks in season 11 or the Cobras in season 11. Teams like that, right? Teams with absolutely absurd stats, and yeah, at the end of the day, right, it was the Sharks that won that season. So those stats don't mean all too much at the end of the day, right? You got to win those games when it comes down to the wire. But proving that you have consistency in shooting that high while also keeping a good defense is practically impossible. And when you do it, you're considered one of the favorites by far.
Yep, and now I'm gonna be one of those people that people don't like, right? It's only 4 games. It's only 4 games into the season. So before I crown these guys, Renegade, all team, all that stuff, we got to see how they play against some of those higher tier teams later down the road who have figured things out as the season's gone on, and truly see what their stats are.
When do you think that threshold is hit, right? But by game 17, right? Yeah, they've showed consistency, right? Even though there's 18 games in this season. So what's that threshold? How many games do you have to play before you're like, yeah, this team's really coming out strong and this isn't a fluke?
I would have to say it's got to be right around 10 to 12 games, because in those first ones, a lot of teams, you don't see many teams banding together forever like, you do in the majors, especially down here. You just see, one season contracts, then you get let go to another team. I would say around 12 games is probably the threshold, because then you start to get into the point of, well, they've had to beat the teams on their schedule, thus far. And if they're still having a winning record, it's got to be good, right? But I do feel like that's got to be the threshold before you call a team legit or not.
I'm gonna say 12, and the reason I say 12 is because the halfway point of the season, right? There's a break. There's a break week, and that's the trade deadline. That comes 9 games into the season, right? So after 9 games. There's a trade deadline, right? And if you don't make a trade during that trade week, you can't trade until the season ends, right? Gorillas take that game 2-1, and that is going to be another W for them. It's 2-0 in the series. I'm gonna say 12 games for the fact that after that trade deadline, right? Getting 3 more consistent games after the trade deadline for me, that's when I say, okay, this team's really the real deal at that point, right?
Yep.
If they need to make trades or more free agent signings and they can keep up that consistency, then I'll also say the same thing. But if they lose that consistency, if they gain it, right, during mid-season, right, let's say a 0-4 team suddenly turn it up and win 8 games in a row by the 12th game, right? They've just won 3 in a row after the trade deadline, right? I'm gonna say, yeah, this team's legit now, right? They started off weak, but now they're legit.
There's a
do you
lot
have
of changes that.
any?
You go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like the Lions last season, right? We already knew they were legit in terms of how bad they were. Legit by the 12th game, right? We already saw the Titans in season 11, who started off the season 5-1, and they didn't even make the playoffs, right? So we knew by the 12th game of the season, we had a feeling in our guts that they weren't going to make the playoffs, and at the end they didn't, right? Despite having a 50-50 record, right? They just couldn't win.
Absolutely, yeah. And you still want to make it personal. I hate doing this, but our team last season started 5-0 and proceeded to go only 10-8. So it just goes to show that you have to play a whole season of consistent Rocket League,
right?
In this league, because if not, teams do start to figure you out, regardless of whether or not they watch the streams on purpose or not. They just start to figure you out at the end of the day. So especially those teams that are in your division. So yeah, that's it. I like 12. That's a really good number, especially after the trade deadline, which I completely forgot about. So.
Oh no, Bard! He hesitates.
Flay.
Flay though. He's got an illegal decal.
It's a G2 decal, and that's
That's not purple.
I don't think that's purple. I'm not.
Flay, you know that you got literally the media team boss, right? The guy who runs the media team playing up against you. He can see that decal. Not how much trouble you are in for not starting the series with it and then putting it on midstream. Like there's a difference between starting the series with it and being like, oh shoot, I forgot, that's my bad. Okay, you took it off, fine. Make sure it doesn't happen again, right? But he didn't have it on in the first place, and then he puts it on for the 3rd game here. That is a little bit sus.
Purple sus.
Purple sus. Flay is sus. Indeed.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, though, if Gorillas do pull out the sweep here, which we've seen in their surges that often happen after 3 minutes, when they really start to break you down here, as that's going to be close, and there it is. They start to break them down. It won't matter. It just won't matter. So. Yeah, that's just a good pass right there from Krish, realizing he can't really get the shot, so just try to get something middle, and Bard is there to clean it up. So, got a 1-1 game. It's a fun one here, but Flays spoketh.
I didn't think I had the. Oh yeah, so he changed his preset and completely forgot that he had put the G2 decal or NRG decal. I can't tell the difference. Oh yeah, it is G2 because he has the NRG banner. There you go. That's what messed me up. Anyway, so yeah, he is. So yeah, it's obviously an accident, but will he get to? He's got to live up to it because he's made that mistake by accident, right? And he's got to live with it for the next 2.5 minutes now that he knows, right? Now that he realized, he probably realized it earlier.
Stuff happens, man.
Oh no!
That's a shot you gotta make right there, man. That's one you gotta make.
That's Joe Sway.
I know, if you see that coming off, that was a heck of a save, and my goodness. But at the same time, if you see that guy going up the back wall, if you shoot it on the ground, they're not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, dodge. That's a goal. So the reason why I was mad about that was because Bard was coming in full speed, right? And Joe Sway, it's in front of the net, right? And as he rotates out, he hits the ball out of the way and makes Bard miss it. And now that brings that ball into center field, and that allows the Witches to get that ball, and now they have a 2-1 lead.
Yep, that's
pretty the turn of events.
Pretty much
like
a
misspeak
from me. That's pretty much just a misspeak from me. So I'll own up
something
to
you
it.
can still expect at this level, right? Obviously, your comms aren't perfect, right? Because normally, once you get your comms perfectly down, by that point, your team is mostly a GC, if not higher, right? But the GC, level Doc with a good save there. Almost not making it, though. It goes off the post and wide. That's a good pass over to Prish. Prish has been pretty invisible this series, hasn't he?
Absolutely, yeah.
My goodness.
But A, it's T. Puts it through, so... Man, we're talking about Prish here, but... And again, he puts it... Oh, that one got stolen.
Yeah. Bored, even himself saying that he's bad in the chat. He's Garbo, apparently. Hey, his team still have a 2-0 series lead. The reverse sweep here, the Witches are going to try it, but considering just... Oh, there you go, Bard. He makes up for his mistake there, and he's able to put one in. And 70 seconds here to score 1 goal, definitely doable.
Absolutely, yep. And this is their late surge that we've seen time and time again from this Gorillas team this series alone. We'll see if they can actually pull it off late, because usually by now it's happened and they have the lead. But that's one where you really do want to see how they react late in the game down 1, because it says a lot about a team.
It does say a lot about a team. Speaking of a team, right? You were telling me about the 5-0 start that you had, and then you ended up 10-8, right, last season?
Yeah.
And did you guys still make the playoffs, though?
We did, yep.
Yeah. So it shows how important it is. Yeah, even if you're a streaky team, right? That it's important to get these wins early on, right? Because if you have 4 losses in a row, right? Even if you turn it up, right? Even if you make an amazing trade and your team becomes a lot better, T, with a second goal there, and he's going to give his team the 2-goal lead. Even if you bring your team up in skill, right, and you're able to start getting some wins, right? You're disadvantaged by these 4 losses, and vice versa, right? You guys only had 4 wins in the last 13 games, and yet still made it 5 wins in the last 13 games, and we're still able to get into playoffs, right? Which 5 and 8, right, down the stretch is very rough. You need to win those 5 games to be able to make it playoffs, and well, thankfully you had won the first 5 games of the season, so it's still important, even if you're a streaky team, to be able to get those wins.
Yeah, but you also have to look at it from the perspective of you gotta get some help from. Oh no, Prish!
Oh, that could have gone off to a kickoff and a kickoff goal, but the Witches win their first game here, and whoever predicted the 3-1 for Gorillas here might be in for a shot, as that might happen. Gorillas are stat padding. No, but yeah, the Gorillas had so many chances there, and
yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you the 2 of looks like 11 this time. Or no, 10. My bad. 10.
Yeah.
I can't add up. No,
it's simple grade 1 math. The hell are you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I promise. I've really not been in it these past few days. I don't know what's going on, but regardless of that, with 10 shots and the way that this team's been shooting, you don't hit the panic bell right now, to be honest with you, because 5 of those were saved. So 5 of those are going to be shots that maybe you want to have back, put in a different spot, but at this level right now, you just have to worry about, making the shots that are wide open, which is, I think, they've... What is happening in the chat?
So Bard's mad because Almost Magic Mike is calling out the fact that Bard is trying to enforce new rules, right? Such as the decal rules that we've been trying to enforce in these last few games. And, well, they're being called out because another rule was on stream games, you need to change your profile picture to your team's profile picture. And guess which team doesn't have that currently?
Well, that would be Gorillas. As Doc is gonna put this through.
And that's some karma right there. Straight off of the kickoff, 2 seconds in. Doc with a goal here. He just gets there early, and Bard, oh wow, slow reaction by Bard.
Yeah, that's just a little bit rough start for the Gorillas, but you know, they've been scoring about 2 goals per game here as far as I've seen, so at the end of the day you just have to score those 2 and hold them to no more goals, but right now that's looking tough because Doc and company are really pushing the agenda for Gorillas and making it very difficult for them to break out of their own half.
Yes, Skirky, it is only for streamed games, but currently this is a streamed game, so technically Bard is breaking his own rules. So let's see how he punishes himself, right?
Season suspension.
You don't obviously you can't have a double standard, right? Right? Even if you are the quote unquote media team leader, right? Even if you're the manager of the media team, right? You can't have a double standard. Even if you break your own rules, right? You can't give yourself what is it? You can't punish others without punishing yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that's actually a good point. I feel because you obviously we had a lot of double standards happening in the past, and a lot of people got mad about that. And well, now with the new management, right? Taylor taking his step down finally for good, and the 5 players now, right? The 5 admins coming in together here, and pretty much just taking care of the entire league by the 5 selves, right?
Yeah. Well, that's
yeah. So they
that's a
want
good point.
for sure.
Because you can't, you know, I like Taylor, don't get me wrong, I like them, you know, but when you have other things going on in your life and you're trying to manage a league with a load of players and a load of leagues, load of teams, you can't manage it by yourself. And I think that it's the right move to have a team of admins and you know, get more input from the community. ASP is gonna probably put one through here.
It's 2-0 Gorillas.
It is. We're on track for a possible reverse sweep.
Yeah, Gorillas have lost the steam here. The train, I think, has pulled on the brakes here just a little bit too much. And, well, the Witches never really stopped here. I don't know what what the penalty is. I think it actually is a 1-game suspension and a warning for the first time. The second time is a 1-game. The third time is a 3-game. And the 4th time is a season suspension, if I do remember, if you break any of these new stream rules. So the decal and the profile pictures.
Well, lucky for most players, you will not get streamed 4 times, so you know you won't have to deal with the
majority of
season
players, right? But like this mostly goes for major teams, obviously. But every team is going to get streamed at least once this season, right?
Yeah,
so yeah, you want to follow the rules.
Yeah, it's a lot of P4 stuff too, because those guys are, as far as I'm aware, are on the playoff list and have more than, if they make it to the finals, more than 4 games. Or no, just exactly 4 games, or 3.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's 3, right?
Because there's the best of 8, then the best of 4, and then the finals, right? So that is 3 games. Yeah. Krish scoring here. Finally, that's going to be found. Bard with a really high shot. Good play here by Josue to be like a annoying pesky fly to flay, and Fresh just going to find that ball there. 1:52. Obviously, plenty of time to tie up this game, but also plenty of time for the Witches to gain back that 2-goal lead. But Frisch can't find it right away off the kickoff there. There was an opportunity, and it's not taken. The ball, though, is going to fall towards the front of the net. Flay is able to clear it out of the corner gently. Frisch towards the front of the net. Bard with a good bump, but Frisch, he puts it off the post. That's an opportunity wasted.
Absolutely, yep. Those are, now I can use my line. Those are shots you have to hit. You know, you gotta put those through at the end of the day, because when you're down by 1 with only a minute to go, you only get a few chances. As it is in a normal game, you only do get a few chances usually, so you have to take advantage of any situation in which you can put a goal in, especially in that one. And now they're feeling the heat again from Witches here, but Bard's moving clear.
All right, so for all the rules now. First offense is a team forfeit and a player warning, I do believe, if you don't have the Discord, if you don't give up all your URLs, right? Your trackers, right? Your tracker?
Yes, and that was after a debate. So that happened earlier this season. I won't go into detail because people would get mad at me. But it just, it was something that I think everybody kind of was thinking that needs to happen. You need to have those out there before you play a game. So yeah, let's
save by AIDST, and yeah, they have a 2-goal lead once again here. They are in the driver's seat, wouldn't you say? The Witches are completely in the driver's seat now, and the Gorillas have just lost that against the Witches. Some kind of spell has fallen upon them.
Yeah, I would not know what that spell is, but it seems like they're not playing as aggressive as they were in those first 2 games. They haven't put the heat on.
Gorilla. That's the spell. They've become docile gorillas.
Unaggressive, docile gorillas. Just kind of. It seems like they're fighting. Oh, can they put this one through?
Oh, they tried.
Oh man, they tried.
They tried for the one player to go for the demo and the other one for the shot on net, but the shot was not even on net. The demo didn't even come through, but it doesn't even matter because the Witches take game 4 here, and suddenly the reverse sweep is underway.
Yep, it is 2-2 right now, which is looking very dangerous right now. Putting that losing spell on the Gorillas, or as you like to call it, the docile gorilla spell. They're just not getting, they're getting the shots, but the quality of those shots is not there. And that's something we've talked endlessly about, even in Sunday. The quality of the shots for the Gorillas isn't there right now. And I think that that's something that they need to get back to really quickly if they want to have a chance to get Game 5, because right now all the momentum is on the Witches' side.
Oh wow, Rapture saying 3-2 Witches here. He's going for the reverse sweep, getting your broom out and putting it upside down. Are you one of those? Are you in for the reverse sweep here, Moss?
That's a tough ask for the Witches, but if they keep playing, it's I'm not really giving a yes or no answer, but at the end of the day, if they play the way that they have been playing through this series and the Gorillas continue to not put the pressure on, they will absolutely take the reverse sweep. So that's just gonna be, that'll be what it is.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough for them. They need to win this game absolutely to save face here. This is their series to lose, right? Completely.
Yep.
And right now they are losing it, right? They have a minimum of 5 minutes here to play, and that's not how you start off. Bard, you're scoring the wrong goal.
Well, this one is just, it's a touch from Flay that goes to the middle. It already gets awkward because Bard is out in front when he should be inside the net waiting for that ball so he can just hit it and clear it and just get it out of there, and he would have saved himself there. That's some good sportsmanship. But now the Gorillas are looking to counterattack here. Bard got it.
Yeah, Bard, he's got to say that, yeah, he's got to step up here. He made that first mistake. He's got to make up for that mistake. He makes it up within 10 seconds. Beautifully played there. Redemption indeed for Bard there. And we got ourselves a tied 1-1 game. If only the goals could come this fast and this easy for them in games 3 and 4.
Absolutely, yeah. It'd be really, really a much more competitive offensive game, but lately these last couple games have just been, steady goals from the Witches. So we'll see if the Witches can keep that up. That's been the recipe for them winning those last 2 games, so that's a huge piece for the puzzle for them. As Prish puts that one in, a beautiful pass from AIDST.
Yeah, you don't, oh yeah, from Bard right over to Prish. Man. Wow, that again, another goal. It's just a pass in the midfield. You give the ball away, and then it's a passing play. It's tic-tac-toe in, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Gorillas right now. And that's what you'll love to see.
Yep. when a team is down or is up 2-0 in a series, they give up 2 goals. You cannot start the next game off 1-0. They did just that. A dangerous situation right there, but you know, at the end of the day, it matters what you do in Game 5. It matters how you close out the series, and even if it's not pretty, a win is a win, and that's what the Gorillas are looking for right now.
Oh my goodness, I like the chat right now. Bard's a sleeper cell secretly playing for the Witches, says Rapture. Docile Hydra saying, Gorillas have a spell on them by me now. Sadly, I don't like that. The same spell that the Witches have put onto Hydra have gone onto the Gorillas. Oh no.
Well, that is certainly not something that you would want. So, but it seems like the Witches are they just are consistently pressuring the ball, and the goals for the Gorillas are only coming out of clears.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's been very
worked.
consistent for sure.
So there's another Gorilla attack. You know what? I'll make a pun right there. That's a Gorilla attack right there. Just those
But
short,
what is this going to be?
ones.
Oh, that's not a Witch spell there because the Gorillas see it coming. Gets the save. Good 50 there. Good clear by Prish. Gets it over AIDS. T scores on himself. Oh no.
Well, T was the one that initially passed it for the redirect from Prish, but this time Prish passes it to T for a redirect. And that one's going to go in, giving the Gorillas a 3-1 lead with still 2:45 to go. Plenty of time for the Witches, but the Gorillas are looking like they might run away with this one.
Now, it's funny to say that this is the reason why Among Us is so fun, right? Like, you got a lot of people who just make some little flawed mistake there, right? And people see it and they think, oh, that's so sus, right? AIDS T just scored on himself. That is amazingly sus, right? He's obviously a gorilla, right? He's obviously an imposter, but obviously he isn't, right? So
Right.
that's what's fun about it, right? He just tried to put that shot wide instead, like this. Instead, he put it into the back of his net.
Absolutely, yeah. It just, those are situations where you have trouble with a good save from Flay, though. And the Gorillas are starting to transition their pressure and are really starting to break down the Witches right now.
Skirky, yes, Wonka did play. He played in the first series tonight, which he won, I do believe. Yes. Yes, he did.
Okay.
He won. That's all I remember.
wouldn't know.
I don't think he scored, but that's all I remember.
Well, this one is just turning into a really, just a really slow pace, run the clock out type game for the Gorillas. They just don't want to make any last minute mistakes.
I mean, you need to do that, right? You absolutely need to play the game slow, throw the other team off their game completely, and stop them from ever getting an opportunity, right? As long as you stop them from getting a shot on net, Doc and T, they are going to 50 each other, but they both get sent to Narnia, and that allows for the punish in their own zone. They can't get the ball cleared out up until now. Bard gets that ball. The shot's on net. That's going to go off the back wall there. Good save by T, but he's not going to be able to save that one. And Prish finds the back of the net, and that looks like a dagger.
They are really running away with it now. Only 55 seconds to go, looking like a definite win for them. And what I need to say is, you mentioned it before, any rules for controller breaking the middle? I don't think so. But regardless of that, I mean, you said it, and they slowed the game down this game, it feels like. They really just kind of took advantage of what they were given, and that's a really underrated part of playing in a league, to be able to slow a team down or speed them up and make them play to your style of what you want to do in a specific game. That is just really nice work from the Gorillas, and it definitely paid off for them this time.
Yeah, and well, they lost that consistency, right? We were talking about this, just like you said earlier, right? Last season, your team lost consistency, and this could have been an L for the Gorillas for sure, right? They could have absolutely lost this series because it was their series to lose. They just showed up when they needed to, but they need to play a full 15 minutes to be able to get 3 wins, right? And
yeah,
well, they didn't show up for after the first 10 minutes, and they showed up in the after 20 minutes, but those 10 minutes, game 3 and 4, they were nowhere. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just, That's Rocket League though. Sometimes you just get shut down for whatever reason it may be. The Gorillas did a really good job. I do want to point out, though. I mean, I'll say it again. They slowed the pace and they made the Witches play to their style constantly, and that just completely got them where they needed to be in this fourth game. And also the ability to close out close series is really crucial down the stretch.
Yeah, and just to say something, Doc actually broke his controller. He broke his right trigger.
That's an
Um,
important.
yeah, so that's an important button. No wonder his stats seem a bit low. He broke it after the fourth goal of the Gorillas there, and that's rough.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just that's one of those unfortunate things. You get unlucky, something breaks. But if you're by a PC, you should have a keyboard right by you and a mouse, and you just go for it at that point. I mean, credit to him for playing it out, though. I mean, I didn't notice until he said anything. I really didn't. So credit to him for just continuing to play that game out. That's well done.
Yeah, he played extremely well, and well, at the end of the day, his team did lose, but he came out to play. His team came out to play. After they just stayed consistent, but they were just consistently worse when the Gorillas were really there to play.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Gorillas were inconsistent. The Gorillas were really consistent games 1 and 2, inconsistent in games 3 and 4, and for the Witches it was the other way around, really inconsistent games 1 and 2, consistent in games 3 and 4, but at the end of the day, the better team always wins usually. So that would have to go to the Gorillas for being more consistent in game 5.
And so Gorillas go 5-0 for their season, which is 0-5. We're going to take a short break here as we switch streamers. Once again, thank you to Duffy for streaming these first 2 games. Thank you, Moss, for coming along with me. I'll be back for the desk in about 5 minutes' time. We'll see you all in a little bit. BRB.